Alright, so, while the video for Milestone 7 corrected uploads, let's go through Milestone 8 a little bit. Okay, I already did a video on this, but I'll do another just to kind of make sure we covered everything. Okay, so let's actually just walk through very quickly what goes on when we actually go into one of the stories in Fantasy Blade the Pilot and how that works. Okay, so we collect a bunch of game objects, you can see here, and then we set up a bunch of timers and some booleans to control them. Then we set up some variables for I guess it's a nested loop. A for each statement within a loop. So it does have that negative growth model, but again we're doing something very short, and each iteration is controlled by a tap on the next key. So as long as that button's working, that shouldn't be a problem. But yeah. So, okay, we set up everything, and progress, again, if you remember, is how we control how far the stories move forward. Okay, so at the beginning, what we want to do is make sure that all of the movement is disabled. You can see there I'm also setting Hilt's mass to be low, just so he'll get out of the way if necessary. Okay, so then what I'm doing is I'm setting up the object text so we can throw some text up easily, and I'm setting the different timers to approximately how long it takes the character to move a certain distance. Okay, and I can I've partially switched this over to triggers. I might do a little more with that. I'm still trying to figure out how comfortable I am with triggers and what their limitations are, and I still felt that this was better. I have the triggers right now. I'll show them to you in a second. I'll show you what they're doing. Okay, so within the I actually got us down to one timer in this particular scene. Within the update function, I've got one timer, and when it becomes active, it just waits the period of time it takes Blade to close the distance. And then once that happens, basically we get the exclamation point and we throw it over Hilt's head. That's what this does. We're transforming the position of it to right above Hilt. That's just a little bit above him. And then we're starting interaction 1. And that starts by we create a temporary story. We store it in temp story 0 through 3. And then we do start dialogue. And start dialogue next just pulls up all the menus, the different backgrounds and other things. And story script basically assigns X to the length of temp story. So, we give that a value of 4. Okay, so then what we do is we set I to 1. We print the first part of that. We set I to 1, and what will eventually happen is up here we pulled up the next 2 button. So when they click on that, then they start running through this, which will when I equals X, and remember, X is the length of our temp story. So when they're done with it, basically, we exit this for each loop. Because, again, it's growing by 1 each time. And we shut down the actual dialog box. And we do progress once. Progress equals progress plus 1. And in this case, this is a short scene, so there is only one. And that runs the next part of the scene, which in this case is loading the next level to battle. Okay, so I hope that helped explain the story and what I've been programming the entire time. Now for each new level, we set this up again. And we do it a little differently depending on the needs. So hard coding it has been generally how I've done it throughout. I can show you one by one, but they're all pretty much the same. They follow that basic pattern that I've described there. Now in the alternative, if you look at the next one, no, that's not a good example. But if we go back to Mistyville, yeah, you can see we go back and forth in dialogue quite a few times. So, you can make it much longer. But, I tailor it to the individual needs of the scene. Okay, so that's just a brief explanation of how we set up a scene. And, that's basically what we've done here. I've shown you the code for all this. So, and then triggers, a lot of that, I again, kind of showed you the code. So, okay, let me give you some sample code for triggers. Okay, so what I'm doing in triggers is I'm stopping movement. And that's really it, right now in the scenes. And then, on the other side of things, in the battle scenes, I'm playing animations. Okay. Give me one sec to okay, and you can see if we go to parameters that we've got triggers throughout. And those are the dimensions, players and triggers. Okay, I covered all this in the other video. I just wanted to make sure I was going through code at an acceptable level, and I had zoomed in enough. I know you had noted that as a concern, so I wanted to make sure I was taking the concerns seriously. I think I talked about all the other issues in the other video. If I didn't cover something, let me know. I'd rather just go through your email real quick and make sure you didn't, okay. So I'm going to film it being demonstrated. First, I'll probably actually do that right now. Okay, yeah, so this was the part that just I wanted to make sure you got. And just to answer this question right now, I've emailed on it, and I guess the person who was handling that changed. So I'm contacting Patrick to get approval. Then the new person will work with me on it. And I am switching over to YouTube. So, as you can see, I've created my own email account, channel, and all that for this work. So, cool, right? Okay, so I'll demonstrate it on the device separately from this, and if there was anything you felt I didn't explain in either of the videos, let me know, and I will take care of that right away. Alright, thank you.